The perception process is a series of steps as to how we may interpret and perceive things. For as it starts with discerning information, where selective attention can come into play, as we may hyperfixate on certain details more than the overbearing story, as can be caused due to our preference in things, whether it be due to knowledge or experience. Then we categorize that information of whether it can be happy, joyous, hostile, friendly, or anything we can really think of. Then next we start interpreting the information as to what it could be. For example, if someone were to shake their fists at me, I would be thinking whether or not they're doing it as a sign of solidarity or a sign of hostility. Then I start internalizing information as to what exactly about what everything that's happened and how does that relate to me and how exactly I should be acting towards that information as well. And for a fifth one, it will be remembering everything that happened, the information, the internalization, the categorization, and then seeing how exactly I should interact with that the next time that ever comes to me again. The next how the role fact the factor the biggest factors that have on perception first is cultural outlook, as for example, as different regions have different kind of values, such as the USA. One is being loud and proud, while while in places like Japan, their values are mostly about being quiet and following conformities. Another part is going to be first impressions, as if you're trying to make tell somebody about first impression, because a lot of people tend to have this biased tendency at that of when as when you first meet somebody, that's going to encompass exactly who they are as a person, and rather than anything else. Another part is confirmation bias, whereas if you were made to hear that somebody in New York start punching people, and then you go to New York and you meet somebody who says they're from that, the first instinct you're gonna have is that they're going to be violent, because you get first instinct you have it's gonna be violent because you saw him getting aggressive with one person before, saw aggressive, but you may not know that person because you simply have that idea that New Yorkers are violent, but you do not know if that person is actually being friends with the other person, and that's just how they interact with each other. Another part is frame of reference, as you can say that you are the person that got assaulted in New York, and so you're going to have so since you were exactly involved in that in that event, you're going to have this kind of feelings against any New Yorkers, as you as is as from your own perspective. And the last part is physiological differences and stereotypes, because if you were to see someone being that was, let's say, big boned or obese, fat, then you're going to be thinking that they are lazy, not hardworking, or just very prone to making excuses. However, you do not know exactly. However, these are all stereotypes, because you do not know if that person actually is not any of that, and it's just simply as they as they can be one of the most hardworking people. They can and they may not make excuses for a lot of things, and can even be accept the fact that they are not in a healthy place and are actively trying to get out of it, or trying to focus on other instances as well to compensate as well. Self-esteem self-esteem plays a role in IPC, as it helps self-esteem plays a role in interpersonal communication, because it helps a person become more outgoing, as well as more outgoing, more persistent in their work, as they try and try again more and more than in any ordinary people, as well as being more as well as being as well as trying to stop harmful things to them that are going on that they do not like, because you don't think they're worth that kind of torture. Another part of self confidence is where you is where it's which is the most important factor of IPC, because self confidence is a level of how much you believe in yourself and how much you are going to try to do something and and how exactly you view yourself in these kind of situations, such as because if you were going to be saying that I would be if I'm going to say that I would be giving the best speech ever, you would eventually do this best speech ever, given to self fulfilling prophecy that you see yourself in a positive light, so you're going to be having a positive outcome in your life. And how we can improve perceptual accuracy is that we should be more open as to what makes a person a person and how they become the way they are, and so we should be able and so we shouldn't rely simply on anecdotal information, but more of just as well as empirical evidence that from trusted sources, and to go outside more, as to ask more questions, meet new people, and see the world not through just your eyes, but through the eyes of many others who to see what kind of experience and worldview some people may have. For example, you may look to a Nazi, you may look to a skinhead child that saying that they're just a spiteful person because they just want someone to hate. But if you actually talk to them, you can learn that they come from broken families and a bad neighborhood where they feel like they're the targeted ones, despite the fact that's not being the case. But they have been indoctrinated by everyone around them. So there's always hope. So there's always a way to see things from another perspective, even if things look bleak or too happy. Thank you for listening, and I'm sorry for starting some more. I know this is 7 minutes long, but I'm trying my best. Thank you.